Hello, hello, hello. I want to welcome you to another episode of Getting Stoned with your host, Mr. Stone Petoskey, coming at you live. Another day to live, another day to love, another day to learn, another day to laugh, another day to give thanks, another day to celebrate the blessings. Yes. I hope y'all feeling so loved. And I want y'all to know that I am very, very, very grateful that you have taken your precious time to stop on by and give this little show of mine a listen. It means the world to me, as I always say. If just one person checks out this business and it feels the love and is somehow uplifted, educated, elevated, then that brings a big old smile to my face. So I'll send in a hug out to all y'all. You know how I love to do that. So come on up in here now. Hugs are better than drugs, but drugs ain't so bad either. All right, feel that hug now. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Don't fake it now. Don't fake it. You gotta get up on this now. Come on. Hug it out, hug it out. Just give yourself a big old hug now. Come on. You are a miracle. Yes, you are. Yes, 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 you are. Come on. Yeah. So I was working out the other day and somebody had this little speaker there and it was just pumping out this fella by the name of David Goggins. And so I just wanted to just throw it out there to all y'all. And if you don't know that brother, go check it out. Read his books, watch some of his videos. Just, get yourself tuned up onto his stories. He's an incredible inspiration. And I think he's someone who I deeply respect. Even though I never met the brother. I don't know. I just throwing it out there. Just popped into my head. You know how it is. I go right off into the moments that come up as they come up. Yeah, that's how we roll around here. Getting stoned. In fact, the only real thing, if you will, is the moment. The right now. This right here. That's it. Past is done, future is yet to be. So get to the loving of what is. Yeah. I look into your face and I see my soul reflected there. If you come along for this ride, I'll show you how much I care. 'Cause I am you and you are me, circling round and round for all to see. Yeah, that separation that we think is legit, that we think that we live inside of our skin, whoever that me that I call me is, yeah, it ain't quite so that way. Yeah, funny thing, the skin, it's impermeable, everything is everything. After winter must come spring. Yes. Ms. Lauryn Hill spoke those words. Another righteous sister there. Yeah, her album, The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, is an all-time classic in my humble opinion. If you aren't familiar with it, by all means, please drop the needle on that record and take it in. All right. Well, what do you say? Let's continue with the reading of the 33 Myths of the System, written by a gentleman by the name of Darren Allen. We are on to myth number 3, and this is the myth of scarcity. The system cannot function unless there is never enough. This we call scarcity, which is the opposite of plenitude or abundance. The system must make the reality of abundance impossible to depend on, and the idea of it impossible to take seriously. The inevitable end point of the system is a reality in which everything is a, quote, scarce resource, unquote, including jobs, air, water, time, affection, and even conscious awareness of one's own body. We can't afford it. There is just not enough money. There is also just not enough food, enough energy, enough jobs, enough houses, enough space, or enough time. Just as we invent money and then see the world as colorless ideas sleeping furiously, we invent capitalism and see the world as a battle for finite resources. The entire universe is reconfigured as a mind-knowable system of facts, and all of nature as a war of all against everything for scarce objects. And all this, most extraordinarily, is how it has to be. Just as things can only be sold by being rationally ripped from context, so they can only be bought when they are scarce. The market cannot function unless there is not enough. And so it must ceaselessly work to make sure that nobody ever has enough. If food, water, energy, and opportunities for meaningful and enjoyable activity are plentiful, there is no need to produce commodities at work or consume them at play. If time is abundant, if space freely available, if necessities are within reach, why bother working for them? Why bother saving them up? Everything crash. In the real world, a place, alas, so far from most people's experience it appears to them as dreams do, scarcity does not exist. The natural state of man and woman is endless affluence or abundance. This is not, as the system man would like to believe, an airy-fairy fantasy, but a demonstrable fact. Scarcity, along with grueling toil for subsistence, was unknown before civilization and was unknown in those societies which, until recently, survived outside of it. Observers of non-sedentary, immediate return foragers are frequently astounded at the profligacy and faith in the future of people who are only ever a few days away from starvation. Even medieval society did not consider the commons scarce, let alone space or time. It was only when, quote, civilization, unquote, began generating needs, and when capitalism began multiplying them, only when the monolithic system began curtailing access to necessities and capitalism began annihilating them, that human existence filled up with infinitely increasing desires for ever-dwindling resources. A word which, in modern usage, always implies something there can never be enough of. Thus, what is called, quote, production means withdrawing capital from circulation in order to ensure a high rate of return on that which is permitted to dribble out through, quote, investment, thereby guaranteeing inequality. Thus, quote, education means learning under the false assumption that knowledge is a scarce product manufactured in an artificial, quote, reality, in which opportunities to use that knowledge in the activity we call, quote, work, are also scarce. Thus, quote, travel means locomotion under an imposed need to gain access to scarce road, rail, and flight resources, and to consume scarce energy resources in order to access scarce production or consumption resources placed artificially far away. Thus, quote, aid means depriving foreign people of the means of subsistence. Thus, quote, health means access to artificially scarce medical resources. Quote, society means access to scarce bandwidth and scarce free time. Quote, love means access to scarce mating stock, particularly scarce eggs. Quote, work means access to scarce jobs. Quote, achievement means access to scarce media attention. Quote, wealth means access to scarce money. And, quote, truth means access to scarce facts or to scarce, quote, learning resources. All of which, under a late-stage market system, is inevitable. A usurious, technocratic debt economy which forces everyone to pay not just more than they have, but more than exists, inevitably creates a quenchless thirst to produce and consume our way through a diminishing world of quantifiable resources artificially generated by tearing them from their context and then rendering them as money values. It also creates a huge number of institutions which, in order to survive, must multiply needs and artificially impose deficiencies, which is to say, create needy, deficient people who must then be cared for by caring people. The disabling system and the crippled men and women it produces, crawling over each other in order to obtain their share of an artificially shrinking pie, is therefore masked by the service, aid, and the tireless altruism of professionals employed to care for them. We are told that we cannot take care of our land or leave nature alone, or build nice houses for everyone, or care for each other, or produce marvelous tools for ordinary people to use because there is, quote, not enough money. The state, Margaret Thatcher told us, has no source of it. It all comes from what we earn. And yet, amazingly, those same poor states affected by the 2008 financial crash and by the 2020 system-enhancing, poor-annihilating lockdowns found trillions of dollars to keep the economy afloat. When the poor need to be disciplined, it's time for monkish, belt-tightening, quote, austerity. But when the system needs money, suddenly there's an infinite, unquenchable, supernatural supply of it. In actual fact, money is one of the key means by which the power of men and women to live is made scarce by the system, which cannot survive unless abundant educational opportunities become scarce resources, provided, of course, by the, quote, best schools. Abundant health becomes a scarce resource. Abundant care for the elderly becomes a scarce resource. Sorry, dear, no time to stop and chat. Got to clean 40 more rooms today. Abundant places for children to play become scarce resources, which must be protected from ever-circling pedophiles and the dreaded lurgy. Abundant physical affection becomes a scarce resource. Authentic girlfriend experience $240 an hour. Abundant water becomes a scarce resource, shipped from the antipodes. Abundant nature becomes a scarce, not to mention intensely managed resource, and abundant life is constantly trickling away. Even the opportunity to inhabit our own bodies, to rest, to idle, even to sleep, even this, to exist in our very selves, must be a scarce resource under the system in its most highly developed form. We may never reach the capitalist utopia of pay-per-use bodily organs with operating systems which must be installed every 6 months, of chairs which decay like mushrooms and have to be reprinted every half hour, of idea rental and sunlight meters and water extracted from the moons of Mars. But there can be only one way forward for the technocratic market system: permanent, omnipresent, existential scarcity. A nightmarish computer game of endlessly proliferating bar charts which not only never stop diminishing, but are used up at ever faster rates. And any attempt to stop this process or even slow it down is ipso facto criminal or insane. Ultimately, the process cannot be stopped while its fuel and foundations remain unaddressed. These reach far deeper than the predatory, mechanical, and exponentially wasteful system. Scarcity, after all, can only apply to things, to isolated objects separated from context and consciousness. Meaning, truth, love, and life are qualities, and as such are inexhaustible. It makes as much sense to talk about acquiring love or running out of truth as it does to talk about the present moment as a resource which needs to be managed. This is why those who own and manage the system have, from its earliest days, expended immense intellectual efforts in converting qualities into objects. To knowledge, objects, truth, objects, quality, objects, and the like. For only this way can life come under control. This is why we are told to view God as a person with wishes and desires, karma as a cause and effect law, memory as a text stored in the mind, happiness as a chemical produced from amino acids, ethics as a collection of things in people's heads which, like fiber optics, must be managed for optimal efficiency, and meaning as a pile of ideas which I can empty out of my brain pocket and into yours, and which, quote, intelligent people are sitting on sacks of. This is not a conscious process. The brains in jars that manage the system's intellectual and cultural industries are unable to see reality any other way. Nor are the domesticants who live in the thing world they have helped create. And that, my friends, is myth number 3, the myth of scarcity. Yeah. I'm telling you, when you start to really think about this, as I'm sure you will if you're listening, and we continue forward with the myths, of this basically insane system that we're currently living in, it becomes very clear that we are slaves to the system. We aren't free. Even those of us who live in first world countries and, supposed democracies, which ironically enough is another myth, the myth of democracy, which we will come to here shortly. But yeah, rock and roll, hoochie coo, lordy mama, yeah. All right, well, you know what? You know how it is here around here. I love all y'all. Love, love coming right at you over the airways, people. Feel it. It ain't no bullshit. It's real as it gets. Love, love, and there ain't no goddamn scarcity of that, no matter what anybody tries to tell you. Love is abundant as fuck. There's more love. It's infinite. Yeah, we just gotta tap into it. We just gotta accept that that's the truth. Open up to it, believe it, live it, celebrate it, share it, act it, be love. All right, what do you say? Let's do some. You know how we were like it. We like poetry. Poetry is one of those those art forms that it just breaks through all the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? It just cuts through it. There's I don't know. It's just too good. It's too good. So I'm just gonna find one here. Lenny Bruce, Gil Scott Heron. Let's do some Gil Scott Heron, another brother. So if you are not familiar with Mr. Gil Scott Heron, by all means, please stop whatever you're doing and go dig into that brother. He's a poet, he's an artist, he's a musician, he is all that. So without further ado, we're gonna read a couple poems here from Mr. Gil Scott Heron. The first one is Evolution. In 1600, I was a darky. Till 1865, a slave. In 1900, I was a nigger. At least that was my name. In 1960, I was a Negro. Malcolm came along. Then some nigga shot Malcolm down. But the bitter truth lived on. Now I am a black man. Still go second class. But once I wanted the white man's love, and now he can kiss my ass. Oh man, that brother, man, I love me some Gil Scott Heron, man. He's most famous for his song, which is really, to me, it's just like an epic poem, but it's a song, it's musical. The revolution will not be televised. So go give that a listen. Have your mind blown. All right, let's do one more from Gil Scott. This one is titled From Tomorrow. Those half moons, silly smiles beneath my children's eyes would not be there had light ever touched the retina of my brain. Had I, in 1640, burned the ships that sailed us all to this special branch of hell, now would be no time to cry. Had I, in 1840, followed Nat Turner and field niggas everywhere, scattered like windblown grains of sand. Now would be no time to cry. Had I, in the 20th century, followed Garvey or Malcolm, King or Karenga, now would be no time to cry, while white men walk on stars. Mr. Gil Scott Heron. I'm sitting here as a white man, and I know in my heart and soul that the color of our skin it isn't who we are. But there's no denying that the pain and the suffering that the white man has caused. My grandmother was a full-blooded Mohawk Indian, so I got some of the red man's blood moving through my body, and I don't know. I just wish we could find a path to loving everybody, loving one another as our own family, as our own brothers and sisters. All this crazy stuff going on over in the Middle East right now. We always trying to come up with all these justifications for our behavior. Pointing fingers, Funny thing is, when you point a finger, there's three more of them pointing right back at you. And I don't know about you, but anytime I look into the eyes of a black woman or a brown woman or a yellow woman or a red woman or a man who believes in Allah or a man who believes in nothing or a man who believes in God, I see my own motherfucking soul reflected there. I know, like there's very, 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 very few things that I say I know. But this I do know. We are not two. We are one. Every single soul is a poem written on the back of God's hand. That's a line from a Michael Franti song. Think about that. Every single soul is a poem written on the back of God's hand. Now, I don't care what God you believe in. I don't care if you don't even believe in God. None of that matters. I don't care what color the skin is on your body. Whether you got hair or you don't got hair. Whether you walk proud or whether you walk with a limp. I don't care what side of the aisle you subscribe to, whether you're a liberal, whether you're a conservative, whether you're a Christian, whether you're a Jew, whether you're a Muslim, whether you're a Hindu. Labels. That's all that shit is just more fucking labels. And you know the thing about labels? Labels are all lies. Shit we make up. There ain't no truth in no labels. Not a single drop of truth. Out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, there is a field. I will meet you there. When the soul lies down in the grass, ideas, meaning, even the phrase each other doesn't make any sense. That's a poem by Rumi, a Sufi poet. If you don't know who that brother is, tap in. You might just learn a thing or two. All right, all y'all. What do you say we do a little tune here before we get on out? This is an original song. Something I wrote, I don't know, not too long ago, a couple of years maybe. It's called Keep On Running. Keep on running, you can't run away from yourself. Keep on running, you can't run away from yourself. Keep on running, you can't run away from yourself. Keep on running, you can't run away from yourself. Always telling crazy lies, coming up with alibis, burning holes into the sky as the river's running dry. Won't stop and children cry as the mamas wonder why must the bullets fly by. Let's please give peace a try. No more racist tempers flare, no more giving evil stares. Let's give them hope and clothes to wear before each other start to care. All this hatred's what's the cost? Two sides of a coin get tossed. So much love we have lost. Let's take a breath and take a pause. Keep on running, you can't run away from yourself. Now keep on running, you can't run away from yourself. Keep on running, you can't run away from yourself. Keep on running, you can't run away from yourself. Divisions only separate, false identity can't relate. The constructs that we create only generate more hate. About this there is nothing great. We brought to life a negative state. All this fear we must negate. Brothers and sisters, let's elevate. One earth is all we got. The temperature is getting hot. Facing life, we have forgot to join together. Let's take a shot. Look inside and smile wide. From the truth no longer hide. The mission is to be kind, open heart, in love abide. Keep on running, can't run away from yourself. yourself. Keep on running, you can't run away from yourself. Keep on running, you can't run away from Damn. Keep on running, y'all. Keep on running. But you can't run away from yourself. You is me. Open your mind and your heart and see. And then we will all be free. Oh, thank you so much again. I very, 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 from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate you. I love you. I hope you have an incredible day. I hope if you're feeling down, that you maybe feel a little bit better. Get out there in the world, people. Smile, laugh, live, love. Don't take this shit too seriously neither. All right? Remember, this is a game. So go out and play. Until next time, y'all, this is Stone Petoskey saying peace.